So previous session we discussed some of the topics related to constructors, isn't it? So what are the types of constructors? Can anyone tell me what are the types of constructors?
Copy constructor.
Hmm?
Default constructor, parameterized constructor.
Yes, good. So we have a copy constructor, default constructor, and a parameterized constructor. So already we discussed the default constructor and the parameterized constructor. So I'm going to show you the how the execution will be done when you are taking the parameterized constructor. Now let us see this one. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now see, observe the things here carefully. So how can we write the parameterized constructor? Then the parameterized, how the program will be executed. After which statement the control is going to the which statement. Now see here. I'm taking the class. You can observe the screen there. So you can write in your notes also. And the class name is here. I'm taking the class name as A, capital A. And I'm taking the two data members, that is X, Y. And the type of data members are integers. Then I'm taking the public access specifier. So what is the access specifier of X and Y? Access specifier of X and Y.
Private.
Yeah, private. Why? Because we are not declaring anything before int xy. So in that case, this xy acts as a private. Yes, good. I think it is Ramya. Yes, Vanilla. Yeah, okay. And
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, Vanilla. Good Vanilla. Now I'm taking the public access specifier. Then I'm taking the constructor. And what type of constructor it is? Parameterized constructor. Now, how can you say that it is the constructor? So while you're seeing the program, so we have a data members are there, member functions are there, a number of statements are there. Among the number of statements, how can we identify that function is a constructor? Can anyone tell me how can we identify the
Class
constructor?
name.
Yeah, good. Good frame side class name. So the class name and the constructor name same. So means we have to take the class name as a constructor name here. And what are the properties of constructor? Can anyone? What are the properties of constructor? We have some properties. So what are the properties of constructor?
Public sections. They
Yeah,
should.
we have to declare the constructor in public section. Okay. Still?
They don't have any written type.
Yeah, they don't have any return type. Like suppose if you are taking the read function, you can take the return type as void and void display, void print. Like that you can take the return type. But come to the constructor, we do not have any return type and even void also. And you are not going to return anything. You are not going to return the result to the any other functions. So for that we are not taking the return type here. So we do not have any
They
return
have
type.
default
And
arguments.
yes.
They have default arguments.
Yeah, they have some default arguments. Default arguments means what? Default arguments. What is the meaning of default arguments? Okay, I'm explaining that with the program later after this one. So I'm taking the constructor here, class name that is A, and I'm taking the two parameters A and B, and the type of parameters are integer. Why? Because the data members are integers, so I'm taking the parameters also integers. Now, while come to the statements of constructor, x equal to A, y equal to B. What is the meaning of x equal to A, y equal to B? The right hand side values will be assigned to left hand side of the assignment operator. So that is the meaning of the statement. So this is the interview question mark. So you have a single equal is there, double equal is there. So what is the difference between the single equal and the double equal operator? So if you are taking the single equal operator, the right hand side value will be assigned to left hand side value. I mean right hand side value will be assigned to left hand side variable. or data member. So whatever you are passing the values, so that will be copied into the A and B, and that A value will be assigned to X and B value will be assigned to Y. So that is the meaning of the assignment statement. So this is my parameterized constructor. And then I'm going to display the values of those X and Y values in display function. So this is only my plan, how to write the constructor, parameterized constructor, and how to display the values of the constructor. But if you want to use these data members and member function, so what we need to access these data members and member functions? Yes, Bhavana, about default argument, yes, it is true. Yes, tell me, ma. If you want to access the class data members and member function, how can we access? What we need to do?
Create object.
Yeah, yes, good. We need to create the object. Using object only, we can access the data members and member functions of the class. So, in main function, I'm taking the main function here. In main function, I'm going to write the code. Means I want to create the object. So, what is the syntax to create the object, ma?
Example of object.
What is the example?
Class name and
Class
object.
name.
Yeah,
Object.
S vanilla,
Which
S vanilla and Ramya, S good. So how to create the object? Class name followed by the object name. So what is my class name here? What is the class name I am taking here?
A.
A. Yes, A. Class name is A, and I am taking the object name as OBJ1. So class name is A, and object name is obj1, and I'm taking the parameters here 1 comma 2. Now when I'm writing this statement, see properly, so I'm taking the class name obj1 and I'm passing the parameters 1 comma 2. So when you're creating the object, automatically constructor will be called, isn't it? When you're creating the object, automatically the constructor will be called. Before that, first the memory will be allocated for the object, then it is going to the constructor. Why? Because what is the use of the constructor? It is used to initialize the data members of an object. Means we need to assign some values to the data members. If you want to assign the values to your data members, first we need to allocate the memory, isn't it? Yes or no? So first, when you are creating the object, first the memory will be allocated, then it is going to the constructor function. So first, now see the presentation carefully. So how the memory will be allocated. So after, when you are creating the object 1 with the parameters 1 comma 2, the memory will be allocated for the object 1. You can see on the right hand side of a PPT. So you can see the memory location. Now see, the memory will be allocated for the object 1, and what is object 1 consist of? Each and every object consists of data members of a class. So what are my data members of a class here? X and Y. So for X and Y, the memory will be allocated with the object 1. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So for object 1, the memory will be allocated when you are creating the object. And the object consists of data members of a class. Here I am taking the X and Y are the data members. And X5 for X and Y, memory will be allocated. So this will be done when you are creating the object. Now, then it is going to the constructor function definition. So where is my constructor function definition? Now you can see. So this is my you can see in the green color, it is highlighted with the green color. This is the constructor function definition. So after memory allocation, it is going to the constructor function definition. So what are the constructor function definition statements? So we are passing the values here 1 comma 2, and this 1 comma 2 will be values will be stored into the A and B variables. So here A and B are the formal parameters. These are the formal parameters to the constructor. And AB values are 1 and 2, and those values will be assigned to XY. AB consists of 1 and 2, and those values will be assigned to XY data members. So this is happened when you are taking the constructor with the parameters. Now, if you are assigning the values, now what is the X and Y value?
1, 2.
Yeah, now you can see the memory location. So X value will be assigned with the 1 and Y value is assigned with the 2. Why? Because we are passing the parameters that is 1, 2. So the using constructor, we can initialize the values of your data members like this. Okay. Now after execution of this constructor, again it is coming back to the main function. Why? Because I am calling this constructor with the object from main function. So after completion of this execution, again it is coming back to the main function. Now you can see this one. I am creating one more object now. I am going to create the one more object here. So that is, you can see here, object 2. Now I am creating one more object, object 2, and I am passing the parameters here 10, 20. Previous, I have passed the parameters 1, 2 with the object 1. Now I am passing the parameters 10, 20 with the object 2. Now tell me, when I am creating the object 2, what will be happen?
Memory will be allocated.
Yeah, yes, good Vanilla. So first the memory will be allocated for the object 2. And what is object 2 consist of? What is object 2 consist of?
10, 20.
No, directly we do not have 10 and 20. What is object 2 consist of?
X, Y.
Yeah, X and Y. So means each and every object consists of data members of a class. So what are the data members here we have taken here? X and Y. So for X and Y in object 2, the memory will be allocated. Now you can see the memory locations. For object 2, for X and Y, memory will be allocated. So this will be happen when you are creating the object 2. Now it is going to the constructor function definition. Now again this constructor will be executed. Now what are the values? Here I have passed here 10, 20. And that 10, 20 values will be copied into the A and B formal parameters. And those values will be copied into the data members X and Y. So that is the constructor function definition. That is X equal to A, Y equal to B. Now after execution of this function, that is constructor, the values will be assigned to X and Y in object 2. In object 2, X and Y values will be assigned with 10 and 20. Is this clear up to here, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is happen when you are creating the object. So when you are creating the object, first, of course, the constructor will be called automatically. But before going to the constructor function definition, first the memory will be allocated for the data members of a class in object. Then it is going to the constructor function definition. Now, so after execution of this one, again it is coming back to the main function. Why? Because I am calling the constructor that is obj2 of 10, 20 from main function. So again it is coming back to the main function after execution of the constructor. Now what are the statements in main function? Next statement. I have a obj1 dot display. I want to print the values of display function. So when you are calling the display function, now I am calling the display function with which object?
First object.
That is obj1. So when you are calling the display function, it is going to the function definition. So what is my function definition here? Display function. Now I am calling the display function with obj1. So what is the obj1 X and Y values here?
1, 2.
Yeah, now that values will be printed on the monitor 1, 2. Suppose I am calling the display function with obj2. Now what values will be displayed?
10,
10,
20.
Yes, 10, 20. Yes, Sadvika, thank you. So 10, 20 values will be displayed now. Means based on the object you are calling the function, that object values will be accessed with the function. Okay, suppose if I am calling a display function with the obj1, obj1 values will be accessed by the display function. Now if you are calling the display function with the obj2, obj2 values will be accessed by the display function. So this is the way the memory will be allocated and we can access the particular data members and member functions of a class. And here we are using the parameterized constructor. Is this clear everything? Parameterized constructor?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good. Ramya S, Bharadwaj S, yeah. Now, I think already I have executed this program, isn't it? Or we'll go to the execution of the program.
We are executed, ma'am.
Executed? Okay, then no problem. Now we'll go to the, what is the third type of constructor?
Copy
Yes,
constructor.
copy constructor. Now you can see the copy constructor. Now what is the copy constructor actually? I want to, yes, tell me ma. Yes,
It
Mumtaz,
copies the class.
it copies the, no, it is not the class. It copies the data member values of one object into the other object. Means I want to copy the object values into the other object. Okay, so in that case, I need to use the copy constructor. Now, how can we copy the values of one object values into the another object? Suppose you can see the previous program. So obj1 and obj2. So what is obj1 consists of 1 comma 2. Let us assume that obj2 values are empty. It is not 10 and 20. So obj1 values are 1 and 2. I want to copy these 1 and 2 values of obj1 into the obj2. So in that case, how to take the program? Now, see this one. So what is copy constructor? It is used to copy the values of one object values into another object. Now suppose I am taking the program normal simply. It is not the actual program, just it is a understanding purpose. I am taking simply. So I am taking the class here and the class name is here A, and I am taking the two data members X and Y, and the type of data members are integer, and I am closing the class here. Now I am creating the object in the main function, class name obj1 comma obj2, means I have created the two objects for the class A. So what are obj1 obj2 consist of?
X comma
Yeah,
y value.
obj1 and obj2 consist of data members of a class, that is x comma y. Now you can see this one. So obj1 xy and obj2 xy. So like this, first memory will be allocated. Now I don't here I'm not assigning any values to your data members x and y. I didn't initialize any values to your x and y here. Means only the memory will be allocated. That's it. I'm not assigning any values here. Simply the memory will be allocated. Now suppose assume that the obj1 x value is 10 and obj2 obj1 y value is 20. I want to copy this obj1 x and y values, that is 10 and 20, into the obj2. Now let's see this one. I want to copy the obj1 xy value, that is 10 and 20, into the obj2. So I want to copy these values into the obj2. Now how this will be happen? How can we copy the obj1 values into the obj2? Yes, Mumtaz?
Shift plus C, ma'am.
Shift plus C? No. In programming part, how can I copy the values of one object into the other object? Okay, so how can we copy these values of one object into the other object in a programming part? Now let's see that one. Now this is my class. See the program carefully. Yes, Ramya. Yes, Soumyasri. Yes, good. It is correct. Yes, Dheeraj. Absolutely. But come to the programming bar. Let's see this one. So I'm taking the copy constructor. I'm taking the class name as CPY. Just copy. Okay, CPY. Now I'm taking the statements here. I'm declaring the two data members A and B, and which is type of integer. Then I'm taking the public access specifiers, means here A and B are the private data members. Then I'm taking the public access specifier. Then below that, I'm going to take the constructor. Now tell me, can anyone tell me what type of constructor it is?
Copy constructor.
No, 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 no. What type of constructor? What is the name of this constructor?
Default constructor.
Yes, yes, yes. Correct. Soumyasri and what? Ever Cheparindaka? Who told that one?
Prem Sai, ma'am.
Yeah, Prem Sai. Yes, good Prem Sai. And Bharadwaj and Rayala and Shreya Reddy and Soumyasri. So first, Soumyasri said that it is a default constructor. Yes, good, ma. It is a default constructor. Okay. And it is a user-defined default constructor or a system-defined default constructor? Yes, Lakshmi Prasanna. Good.
System defined.
And yeah, it is a user-defined default constructor. Why? Because we are writing the constructor in a program, then it is called as a user-defined default constructor. Now, then I'm taking the one more constructor. Now, how can we identify the whether the class consists of constructor or not? What is the name of the constructor?
Copy.
Yeah, class name, that is a CPY. So if the class name is present in the class with the function, then it is a constructor. Now I'm taking the copy constructor, but I'm not writing any statements here. We'll see that later, how to write the statements in the copy constructor. Okay. Now after this one, I want to read the values first. I have taken the data members A and B now. I want to read the values into the A and B using the read function. So observe this carefully. I'm using the read function. In read function, I'm going to enter the values of A and B. Then I want to display the values using some display function. A and B, I'm going to display the values here. So this is only my plan. It is not the original one. It is only my plan or logical. Now, if I want to access this one, I want to create the object in main function. So I'm taking the main function here. So I want to create the object. So what is the syntax of to create the object? Class name followed with the object. So what is my class name? CPY, and object name is here obj1. Okay, so obj1. So when I am creating the object, what will be happen? When I am creating the object, what will happen?
Memory will be allocated.
Yes, Lakshmi Prasanna. Memory will be allocated for the object obj1. And what is obj1 consist of?
A comma.
Yes, good. Memory, obj1 consists of A and B. So memory will be allocated for the object 1. Then next I am taking the in main function, I am taking the yes. So when I am creating the object, memory will be allocated, then automatically constructor will be called. Now what type of a constructor will be called here? User defined constructor. Why? Because this one obj1 without parameters, I am calling the constructor. If you are taking the obj1 of 2, 3, then it is going to the parameterized constructor. But I am not taking any parameters over here, obj1. So if you are not taking parameters means without parameters constructor will be called, that is a user defined constructor. So this highlighted constructor will be called, but it does not consist of any statement. Simply the constructor will be executed. Then again it is coming back to the main function. Okay, after execution of the constructor, it is coming back to the main function. Then I am creating one more. I want to call the read function. Why? Because till now I didn't assign any values to your data members A and B. I want to assign the values. Then I'm calling the read function here. I'm not using the parameterized constructor to initialize the values to your data members. I'm using the read function. In previous case, I am using the parameterized constructor to initialize the values, but now I am using the read function to assign the values to your data members. So how can we call the read function here? Object name dot function name. Okay, object name dot function name. So that is obj1 dot read function. So when I am calling the obj1 dot read function, it is going to the read function definition. This one. It is going to the read function definition. Now what is read function consist of? Enter the values, read the values using cin object A and B. Now I want to read the values. Now I want to assign some values to A and B here. A value is 10 and B value is 20. Now I am assigning some values using read function using scene object. So A value is 10 and B value is 20. Now after execution and completion of this read function definition, again it is coming back to the main function. It is coming back to the main function. Now I want to take one more statement in main function, that is CPY obj2. Now what is this statement? What is the statement actually? It is the creation of object 2. I am creating one more object 2 here. Okay. So CPY class name followed by the object, that is obj2. In parameter means in parentheses I am passing object. It is not a variable or it is not a value. It is an object. So now see here. So when you are creating this one, so what will be happen? I am creating the object 2 now. Now what will happen?
Values are copied.
No, directly the values will not be copied. When you are creating the object, what will happen?
Memory is allocated.
Memory.
Yeah, good. First, memory will be allocated for the object 2. Object 2 memory will be allocated for A and B. Why? Because the class consists of data members A and B. For A and B, in object 2, memory will be allocated. Then it is going to the copy constructor, this one. But how can we copy the values? Now see here. Now this constructor will be executed. Now we are passing the obj1. It is not a variable or it is not a value. Listen carefully. Obj consists of number of data members, not the single value. See here, what is obj1 consist of? A and B. It is not a single value. It consists of number of values. Suppose if I am taking one more value C, it consists of 3 values. If I am taking one more value D, it consists of 4 values. So object consists of number of values, not the single value. In that case, how can I copy all the values of object into the another object? So that is a copy constructor. Now let us see this one. I am passing the obj1 and that obj1 value will be stored into the formal object. So when I am taking the read of 2, that 2 will be copied into the some x value. Now, so same thing when you are passing the obj1, so this obj1 value will be copied into the formal object, that is the fobj1. What is fobj1 here? It is a formal object for obj1. Now see this one. So when you are taking the formal object 1, so this can be assigned to the obj1. Means we are assigning one more name to the obj1, that is the formal object 1. Now you can see this one on the right hand side in a red color. So when you are taking the obj1 here, that obj1 value will be copied into the formal object obj1. So what will be happen? Actually, it is not copying. We are giving one more name to the obj1, that is the fobj1. So this will be happen when you are taking the obj1 and that will be copied into the formal object 1. Then I am taking the reference variable. So this is the new variable in, this is a new operator in C++. Of course, you have an address operator in C language also, but here we are using the address operator for another purpose, that is a reference, means address only. Reference means address. So if you are taking the address operator and fobj1, means we are taking the alias name to the obj1. Means one more name we are assigning, that is fobj1 to the obj1 data, object. You can see here. Suppose if you are taking the some person, Srinivas is there. So in college we are calling him with the name Srinivas, but he has a separate nickname at home. Suppose Bunny is there. Okay, so Bunny and Srinivas is only one person. Bunny and Srinivas is only one person, but in college his name is Srinivas. But come to the home and nickname is here Bunny. So person is same, but we are taking the different names. Same thing happened here when you are taking the reference variable, that is address operator here. So obj1 here we are passing and we are taking the address operator followed by the FOBJ1 means we are giving one more name to the OBJ1. So that is FOBJ1. So we have two names for this A and B data members here, OBJ1 and FOBJ1. Okay. Now what is the data type of this particular FOBJ1 here? What is the data type of OBJ1? Now what is the data type of A here?
Integer.
Yeah. And what is the data type of B?
Integer.
Integer only. Now, so when you are passing read of A, what is the A variable there? It is the integer. But when I am passing OBJ1, what is the data type of OBJ1? So OBJ1 consists of number of values. It is not a single value. So what is the data type of object? What is the data type of object? It is not integer. It is not integer. Yes, Bharadwaj, it is class. Now you can see one example. You can see here in red color. Int x is there and copy CPY OBJ1 is there. So what is x here?
Variable.
Yeah, variable. What is the data type of x here?
The integer.
Yes, integer. Now, same thing, I am taking the statement CPY OBJ1. So, OBJ1 is same like X and CPY is same like integer data type. Okay. Now, what is OBJ1? It is an object. Okay. OBJ1 is an object. And what is the data type of this OBJ1? CPY.
Copy.
Yeah, CPY. So, what is CPY here in our program? Class name. So when you are passing the object here, the data type of object is class name. Suppose if you are taking the int x, x is a variable and data type of x is integer. Now come to this statement, OBJ1 is the object and the CPY is the data type of the object, means class name. So when I am passing the object here, what is the data type of object?
Class.
Class. So what is the class name here? CPY. So we have to take the, now see this one in arrow mark. I am representing arrow mark here. So this is the CPY. I want to take the data type of this formal object as a class name, that is a CPY. Is this clear everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good. Now, what the copy statements consist of? Now, still now, just we are passing parameter to the constructor, that's it. And we are giving one more name to the object one, that is FOBJ1, that's it. Now, we need to copy the OBJ1 values, that is 10 and 20 into the OBJ2. Now, how this will be happen? Now, see the statements here, what the statements will consist of. Now, suppose if I want to access the object x value. How can I access the x value in main function? In first program, we have seen that object name dot x. If it is a public member, we can access that with the obj1 dot x, isn't it? Did you remember this one, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. How can I access the data member or member function? Object name dot data member. Object name dot member function. Now, how to copy the values of obj1 into the obj2? It does not consist of only one value, it consists of number of values. So how can I access that one? Now see this one, obj1 dot a, so that will be assigned to obj2 data member a. Then obj1 dot b, how can I take the single data member of an object? How can I access the individual data member of an object using this syntax? Object name dot data member. Okay. Ma'am, my friends are unable to join the class. Shivani. Now I'm what have to do now? Once tell them to rejoin, ma'am. Again, once again try to join the class, please. Okay. Try one more time. I think it is network problem, not my side, from those sides. So please ask them to join once again. Okay. Now, so where we are, yeah. I want to take again these statements. Yeah. Now we are taking the name here. Data type of object is copy. Now, how can I access the individual data member of a particular object here? Object name dot data member, that is A, that is obj1 dot A, obj1 dot B. Suppose in your class in a C section, number of peoples are there. So what is the rule number starts from B8 to some H4. Suppose one person is there, Srinivas. So Srinivas is belong to which class? C section. So how can we write that statement here? C section followed with the role name, that is a Srinivas, isn't it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the class name and what is the object name? Suppose assume that if I want to access the pen or pencil of her, his or her, Srinivas pen or pencil. Now how can I write the statement here? Srinivas dot, I am taking the pencil from the Srinivas. Srinivas dot pencil. Srinivas dot pen. Srinivas dot bag. Srinivas dot box. So Srinivas having number of materials. He is having number of materials. Now I want to access the materials of Srinivas. Now how can I write that in statements here? Srinivas dot pen. Srinivas dot pencil. And Srinivas dot something. Now same thing, if the object consists of number of values here, how can I access those one? Obj, that is object dot data member A, object dot data member B. So like that we can access the data members. Is this clear everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Now how to copy the values? Now come to the statement of the, statements of copy constructor. Now I'm taking the FOBJ1. What is FOBJ1 here? That is object 1 only. So FOBJ1 dot A, that is FOBJ1 dot A value is 10. So I want to assign this FOBJ1 10 value to which object here? OBJ2. So simply you can write the data member A here, not the OBJ2 dot A here. So in left hand side, simply we are writing the A data member, but right hand side we are representing data member with the object name dot data member. So by default in left hand side, it will take the object 2 only. But come to the right hand side, you need to represent from which object you want to copy the values. Is this clear, this statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So FOBJ1 dot A. So what is FOBJ1A here? What is the value? 10. So that will be assigned to data member A. So what is data member A on the left hand side here? Default it is OBJ2 only. Default OBJ2 only. Why? Because why it is taking the OBJ2 only means, now see this statement. When I am creating the statement here, CPY OBJ2 of OBJ1. So with which object you are calling the constructor? OBJ2 only now.
Yes, ma'am.
So it will take the OBJ2 by default here. Okay. So that is A equal to FOBJ dot A. Then we need to assign the B value also. Now how to write the statement for the B value?
B is equals to FOBJ dot B.
Yeah. Yes. Good. Correct, Muntaj. B equal to FOBJ dot B. Now, when you are writing these statements, the values of FOBJ A data member value 10 will be assigned to OBJ2 and 20, that is OBJ1 B value 20 will be assigned to OBJ2 20. So like this, we can copy the values of one object into the other object. Is this clear everyone?
Yes,
Yes
ma'am.
or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good. Now, I want to display the values. So still now, just we are copying the obj1 values into the obj2. That's it. Now I want to print the values. Why? Because I want to test that whether the values of obj1 values will be copied into the obj2 or not. So in that case, I want to display the values of obj1. I want to display the values of obj2. If both the values are same, as the copy will be done. So I want to test that one. So in that case, I want to display the values here. Now it is coming back to the main function again. So I want to display the values. So what values? obj1 values I want to display here. So when you are taking this cout statement, obj1 values are, so as it is, the statement will be printed on the monitor. The next statement, I am taking the obj1 dot display function. I am calling the display function. With which object I am calling the function here?
Object
So in
1.
that case, what values will be displayed? Object values. Which object values will be displayed?
Object 1 values 10 gamma
Yeah,
10.
object 1 values will be displayed. So when you are calling this function, actually, it is going to the function definition, display function here. So this function will be executed. So what is the statement here? Cout AB values will be displayed. And what values will be displayed here? 10 and 20 will be displayed, and those are belongs to obj1. Why? Because I am calling the display function with the object obj1. So obj1 data member AB values will be displayed here. Then I want to display the values of obj2 also. So in that case, it is coming back to the main function again. I want to take the statement, cout statement, obj2 values are. So as it is, the statement will be printed on the monitor, obj2 values are. Then I want to call the display function. With which object I want to call? I want to display the values of object 2. Then how can I take the statement here?
Object 2 dot display.
Yes, good. Object2 dot display, that is obj2 dot display. So when you are calling this display function, it is going to be the display function definition now. So previous the display function will be executed with the object obj1. Now again we are executing the display function with the object 2. So what values will be displayed now again?
10 20.
Why? Because obj1 and obj2 consist of both the values are same. Why? Because just now we have copied the obj1 values into the obj2. So 10 and 20 values will be displayed on the monitor. Is this clear, everyone? What is copy constructor and how to copy the values of one object into the other object?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, ma. Thank you, Bharadwaj. Thank you, Sairam, Joshna, Dheeraj. So this will be happen when you are taking the copy constructor. So you need to remember only how to copy the values. So this copy constructor, when you are passing the object, so this copy constructor will be done. You need to take the reference operator, that is address operator. Why? Because we are taking the address only here, obj1 address only. So that is the FOBJ1. And when you are taking the object as a parameter, the data type of the parameter object is class only. So that is, you need to remember that one. Then how can we access the individual data member of a particular object here? Object name dot data member. So FOBJ1 dot A, that will be assigned to A here, and FOBJ2 dot B, and that will be assigned to B here. So like this, we can copy the values of an object into another object. Is this clear? Now, now we'll go to the programming part, or is it okay? Or we need to execute the program? Shall we execute the program?
Okay, ma'am.
Shall we execute the program once? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's go to the programming
ma'am.
part. Let's go to the programming part here. So I'm taking the online, online C++ compiler. Yeah. Now I want to write the code. So directly I'm writing the program fastly. So please observe that one. I'm taking the class here. Class. I'm taking the A, and I'm taking the data members here. Int x comma y, and I'm taking the public access specifier here. and I'm taking the default constructor. It does not have any statements here, and I'm taking the copy constructor. Okay, let's take the CPY now. CPY is our class name now. So I'm taking the CPY is a class name. So in that case, the constructor name is also CPY. Now I'm taking the parameterized constructor, that is CPY. But I'm taking the object as a parameter. In that case, I want to take the data type of object is here, class name, that is a CPY, and I'm taking the formal object, that is obj1, fobj1. And I'm writing the statement here. We are taking the x, no problem. I'm taking the x only, no problem. You can take x or ab's also. X equal to fobj1 dot x. Then y equal to fobj1 dot y. So this is the copy constructor. Now I want to read the values. So I want to take the read function. So cout, I'm taking the statement, enter the values, then I want to read the values of x and y. Then I want to close the read function. Then I want to display the values also. So I want to take the display function also. Display. Now I want to display the values here. Cout. That is, I want to take this slash n. I want to take the slash n. Then I want to take the a and x. Here I'm taking the x here. X. I want to give the space between the a, x and y. So I'm taking the double quotes and y. Then I'm taking once again I'm taking the slash n. Why? Because we have two objects now. So I want to take the new line for the object 1 and the object 2 here. That is slash n. Okay. So this is the display function. Now I'm closing the class with the semicolon. Then come to the main function. So I want to write the statement. I want to create the object for the class CPY, and I'm taking the obj1. Okay, obj1. Then I want to call the obj1 dot read function. First I want to read the values of obj1. Then I want to copy. So first I'm calling the read function. Then I want to create the one more object, obj2. Okay. Then I want to copy the obj1 value. So I want to pass the obj1 as a parameter with the object 2, like this. And after copy this statement, I want to print the values of both the objects. That is, before that, then I'm taking the statement here, cout obj1 values are. So now I want to call the display function with the object 1, obj1 dot display. Then I want to take the object 2 also and copy this one. That is obj2 values. Now in cout statement, we have to take the obj2 values are. Then I want to call the display function with the object 2. That's it. obj2 dot display. Then you can return the value. Yes. Now we'll go to the run. It is taking some time to compile the program. Oops, server is something. Network problem is there. Some network problem is there. No, still it is buffering only. Okay, let's copy this one, refresh this one. We'll get the new. I want to run again. Happen. No, it's taking some time. We'll go to the Turbo C++ meanwhile, because it is buffering only. So first I want to copy the program, okay, in a notepad. Yeah, okay. Using namespace HTTP class copy, and I'm taking the two data members, then public access specifier, then we have a constructor here. Constructor is user defined constructor, and it is a default constructor. Is default constructor, and I'm taking the copy constructor. Then we have a statements here to copy the values of one object into the other object, and then we are closing the constructor. Then we have a read function is there, read function, then display function. After read we have a display function. I don't know what happened in online compiler, it's buffering only. So that I'm taking this one. This is the display function. And now you can see while I'm writing the program, I'm using the tabs here. So please, you need to write the program in this manner only. Don't write all the statement at one column, at one place. Need to differentiate between the each and every block or loops or statements. So I'm taking the cout statement here, and then we have a obj1 dot display function. Then we have a statement here, obj2 obj2 dot display function, then return the value. So in Turbo C++ we do not have any return, so just I'm saving this program in my Turbo C++ compiler. I'm going to the saving program, so it is in my C drive, Turbo C++. So simply you can write the notepad program in notepad, then just go to the path and you can save the program like this also. Okay, so what is this program? Copy program, copy dot extension is C++, that is CPP. So save the program. Now I'm going to the Turbo C++ now directly. Now you can open this program in Turbo C++ compiler. So simply you can write in the main program. So I'm going to open the program. So my CPY is my program name. So this is the program. Now C, so this is the program. Now I'm going to compile this program. but you'll get some error. Okay, let's see that one. What errors here? Why? Because in Turbo C++ compiler, we need to include .h. Okay, and we do not have any using namespace std. Okay, and come to the main function. You need to take the return type of main as void. So these are the differences when you are taking the present compilers and the existing compilers, old compilers. Okay, so here you need to take the get ch. When you are taking the get ch here, you need to include one more header file, that is a hash include. What is the header file for get ch?
Conio.h.
Yeah, yeah, yes, good. Now I'm going to compile the program. Okay, now we do not have any errors or warning also. Now simply run the program. Now is my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Now it is asking enter the values. We need to enter the two values here, 10 and 20. Now you can see that one. OBJ1 values are 10, 20 and OBJ2 values are also 10 and 20. So you are getting the same values in OBJ1 and OBJ2. So this is the program of copy constructor. Is this clear everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So will this with this will this stop the class here?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. Now my assignment for this is in next week I'm going to conduct the quiz on up to till topics, means copy constructor. So please maintain a notes. Can I ask one member to show me the notes? I'll decide one people. I'll ask someone. Mumtaz, Mumtaz, do you have notes of C++? Are you maintaining the notes for C++?
Yes, ma'am. I'm maintaining.
Now, can you show me the notes?
Uh, ma'am, by
Yes.
2, 3 odd days back, I didn't wrote, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Just once show me the topics you have written. That's it. Then other people can maintain the notes. That's it. If you show me the notes, okay, someone is maintaining the notes, I want to maintain the notes. So they can realize like that. I want to maintain the notes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Good, Muntash. So this is which date? This is which date topic? I think present. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Present
Yeah.
topics.
Yeah, present topics. Okay. So everyone has to maintain the notes mark. Okay. Why? Because it is the programming part. Of course, you can read the theory part in Google or anywhere, but come to the programming part, you need to understand the each and every statement, how to write the program. Then only you can, if you have a dynamic programming is there, you can write on the, spontaneously. So like that, you need to understand the concepts. Then only you can write the program. Okay. So next week, I'm going to conduct the quiz up to till topic. So please prepare with the topics. Okay, I'm going to conduct the quiz on this one. Then everyone has to maintain the notes. In next week, I'll ask that also, notes also. Okay, and today's assignment is uh, take the copy constructor only. Okay, copy constructor, same program, but you need to define this copy constructor outside the class. So we can define the functions within the class and outside the class. Both the ways we can define the function. But how to define the constructors outside the class? Can anyone tell me how to define the constructor outside the class? What is the syntax to define the function outside the class? What is the syntax to define the function outside the class? Anyone?
Note.
Yes? how to define the function, normal read function, display function outside the class. How can we define the function? How can we write the statements of function outside the class? Yes, good, Manisha. But it is not void scope resolution display. Now in this program we are taking the CPY now. So this is the CPY. This is my copy constructor. Okay. Now how to define this function outside the class? So suppose I'm erasing this one, everything. Simply I'm erasing this one. So I want to define this function outside the class. Means we need to close the class here. What is the return type of constructor? Yes, Priya Reddy. Yes, the syntax is good. Correct. Yes, ma, tell me, what is the return type of constructor? Return type of constructor. Anyone? What is the return type of constructor?
They do not have return type.
Yeah, yes, good. Good, ma. Prem Sai. So we do not have Prem Sai only? Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
yeah, good, Prem Sai. So we do not have return type of the constructor. So syntax of the member function, to define the member function outside the class, we need to take the return type. Okay, then class name, scope resolution operator, then function name, that is the member function name. Then you can take the arguments in the parentheses. Then you can open the braces and you can write some statements here. Some statements are there. Then you can close the braces. So this is the definition to define the function outside the class. Now come to constructor. So what is the first thing? Return type. We do not have return type. So don't write return type here. So what is the second here? Class name. What is my class name here? CPY. So CPY is my class name. Then scope resolution operator. Then what is the function name? Function name is also CPY only. Why? Because class name and constructor name both are same. So first we need to take the class name, that is the CPY. Then scope resolution operator. Then function name is constructor name. What is my constructor name? CPY itself. So CPY. Then you can write the program here. CPY is the parameter object data type, reference operator. Then FOBJ1 like this. Then you can write the statements here. That's it. So this is the way you can write the function definition. Constructor definition outside the class. Is this clear, everyone? So we do not have any return type of the constructor, so don't write the return type. Now what is the class name? CPY. Scope resolution operator. Then what is the function name? I want to define the constructor. What is the constructor name? Class name only. So that is again CPY. So then remaining thing, the code of the copy constructor is remaining thing is same. Now this is the assignment. So same program, but you need to define the copy constructor outside the class. So define that one, execute the program and post it in the WhatsApp group with your roll number. Please don't share your PDFs. Only I want the images. Like previous somebody says that madam, I'm writing the PDF. No, don't have PDF. I do not accept the PDF. Only show me the screenshots of your or images of your program and followed with the roll number. That's it. Is this clear, everything? Now, in each and every program, you need to give your input as your roll number. Then only I can understand that as he or she follows the statements or follow the orders. Simply, if you are writing the program and if you are passing or share the same screenshots to your other friends, and simply they are putting the same screenshot with the some rule number. So this not should be done. So please, when you are giving the input to the program, so take one data member as a rule number in your program. Here, take the data member as a rule number. Before writing any program, take the data member. Okay, or else in main function, don't take the data member as a rule number. In main function, just take the CO statement, print your rule number there. Then I can understand that yes, he is done with the program. Okay, yes. So this is the assignment, and before Monday, you need to submit the assignment. before Monday. Means you have a 2 days time. Before Monday, you need to submit the assignments. Okay. Hope everything is clear with you.
It's clear, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, ma. And everyone can leave the class. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
Yes,
Bye, ma'am.
yes.
Will you share PDF of this first unit?
Yeah. After completion of first unit or half of the unit, after completion of half unit, I'll share the PPTs. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.